Hey, it's Bao. I just spent 5 days in the National Forest in Arizona with my oldest brother, Tony, doing the stuff that he's most passionate about in his life. We camped, we went off-road, we did the longest hike of my life, saw some majestic views, ate Vietnamese food, plunged into icy cold water, made animal friends, and we had some really great conversations. And it was an opportunity for me to spend quality time with my brother in a way we'd never gotten a chance to do before in our entire lives. So in this first part of a 3-part series, come along on our adventures and here's some of my reflections about my journey, physical and mental. In part 2, I'll give you an update on how I've been navigating the waves of my life recently. And in the final installment, I'll sit down for tea with my older brother and we'll get deep. You won't want to miss it. My name is Bao Vo, and this is Mind Over Matcha, where we share our everyday epiphanies, which are subtle ways to reframe our big, crazy universe. On the first day, we drove into the Coconino National Forest, past the casual campers and into more remote wilderness. Then we hiked about 6 miles to get the lay of the land. The forest was beautiful, the temperature was perfect, the air smelled like trees. I tried to take everything in at every scale, the massive, the medium, and the mini. We found an incredible campsite at the top of Magyan Rim where my brother heated up some Vietnamese food he had frozen in the cooler. Ever had sweet and sour fish soup while camping? Later that evening, we rode our mountain bikes along the rim. The scenery was majestic, it was super windy, and my tree pollen allergy was raging. And of course, on my very first bike ride, I slipped off a large rock and crashed. I cracked the glass on my iPhone camera, so most of the footage you'll see is from a shattered lens. The sunset was picture perfect. I think it took me a full day to get used to speaking mostly Vietnamese and get beyond like the practical conversation and more into like deeper stuff and abstract stuff and feelings. I feel like a lot of bilingual people or children of immigrants might be able to relate to just not having the vocabulary to get deeper in a conversation. But it was really interesting to hear my brother's take on a lot of things about his lifestyle, his spiritual practices, and even like our family dynamics. We hung out for a little bit and crashed pretty early on that day. In the middle of the night, I woke up to the sound of some raindrops on my tent. My tent didn't have a rain fly to block the water, so I grabbed everything and slept in the cab of the truck. It started raining, so we're sleeping inside the truck now.
That was some of the worst sleep I've ever had. I couldn't stretch my legs out all night because I'm in the center seat row of the pickup truck. And I couldn't breathe out of my nose most of the night. But it looks beautiful outside, post-rain. My brother's up. He's lit a fire.
On day 2, it rained for most of the day. We stayed around camp, mostly hiding out in the back of my brother's truck, with short exploration missions in between. At one point when I was out exploring, it started to hail. It was beautiful. The air felt so crisp and alive, and the birds were totally silent. Once the rain finally stopped, we took a long bike ride and saw some epic views. We called it a day. It took 2 full days for my mind to slow down and for me to become totally present. And as my hyperactive brain finally shut up, the significance of spending this intimate time with my brother became a lot clearer. See, Tony was born in the late 60s in Vietnam, so his childhood took place in the shadows of violence and poverty and chronic hunger. In many ways, Tony was, and I think he still is, a trailblazer in our family. He had to figure out how to be the man of the family when he was just a teenager in a whole new country. Almost as soon as our family arrived in the United States, he had to figure out how to learn English, how to get a job, make connections, drive a car, figure out what a bank account works like. And way into adulthood, after having a child and owning a business, he finally got his university degree. So in that way, true trailblazer, right? Whereas I grew up in the 80s in the US, and I learned English from just watching Cheerios commercials and G.I. Joe cartoons. So even though our family was extremely poor when we were children, I didn't have the same existential hardships as my brother did. I think about that privilege all the time. I mean, I get to be a creative professionally, right? And so it's not just the 15 years between us, but also the totally different worlds that we grew up in that made it so that we never had a chance to connect intimately. Just, you know, our lives were so different. And even in adulthood, there were a couple years where I chose not to reach out to my brother or even speak to him because I criticized his decision making because I didn't understand his universe, what his life was like. And we eventually reconciled, and here we are now, connecting through our love of being out in nature and comparing our separate paths on our spiritual journey, really learning about each other by being present with each other. That's what this video is really about for the most part. On the third day, just as the sun was beginning to warm up the soggy dead trees, we embarked on an epic journey. The longest hike I've ever done, with a huge climb up a mountain near the end. Early in the morning, we drove the truck down to the base of the mountains, where the ecosystem felt completely different. We hiked through the moist, shaded lower forest, crossing streams covered in wild watercress. Historically, this was considered peasant food, which is probably why Vietnamese people love eating this stuff. I also finally spotted some fungi, multiple kinds even. As we gained elevation, these plants and mushrooms gave way to a drier climate species like manzanita trees and yuccas. The mountains came back into view and the sun began to heat up a lot. And we randomly stumbled upon this beautiful bovine. Apparently the ranchers sometimes let their cattle graze in the national forest. Even higher up, we crossed stretches of mountainside where nearly all the trees had been raised. It was really disturbing to see the scale of it. I wonder how many animals lost their homes or their lives, and I wonder what the people plan to do with this cleared land. Probably more grazing for the cows. This stretch was the most challenging part of the hike. It was long and hot, with virtually no shade. It's approaching noon. We're on our 8th or 9th mile, maybe 10th. It's so hot, and there's no shade at this part. Even though it looks like there's a lot of trees, but they're mainly short bushes. Okay, we got to a little stream with cold water, and I'm putting my feet in it. It's really cold. We didn't see a single other human on the hike. We did, however, see another cow and about 10 million cow pies. Another 6 miles of no shade to go. But it sure is beautiful. Apparently, the final stretch is 1,000 feet elevation. And my brother's still going so hard. He's like in in so much better shape than I am. Look at my brothers, like way up there. We made it! Give me a hug! We made it! How many miles?
15!
When did we start?
8.5 hours!
And why did we do this big hike today?
For Jiha birthday! 64 birthday for Jiha!
Our beloved aunt passed away end of last year. Today is her 64th birthday. And, you know, big walk for the ancestors. Thanks, Brother Tony. Okay, now where are you going? How many miles bike?
7!
Just to get the car and drive back. Thank you, see you. There he goes. A 7-mile more bike ride. What a beast. I am completely wiped out. I just finished a 15 or 16 mile hike with my oldest brother Tony. I haven't showered in 3 days. Didn't eat breakfast. So my aunt Ha, who passed away at the end of last year, she was the aunt, I guess, that I was closest with or spent the most time with. She lived in Vietnam, and she's special to me because she contributed so much to her community. She was a star athlete. She taught half the town to drive, probably. She had a daughter that she put her everything into raising, who's an incredible person, grown up now, who has immigrated to the US and has become a really cool creative professional and a good human being. And so doing this trip to honor her birthday less than a year after her passing, I didn't plan to do this long hike for that purpose, but my brother did, and it was a lot of time to reflect and just be with that thought and those feelings, and I'm glad we did it. And now I'm going to take a nap. Peace out. So as we wound down our third day, I realized that it took me like 3 whole days to sync my sleep schedule with the sunrise and sunset. But I felt so good not being attached to a desk or a glowing screen or the car. So we decided to take it easy for the next couple of days. I slept great that night. We packed up and moved on to explore another part of the forest. After a steep rocky descent, we ended up at West Clear Creek. This place was stunning and beautiful and peaceful. I love how the rocks become a projection screen for the sunlight reflecting off the water. It was an easy mile or two across the rocks along the water. It was really fun. I showed my brother how controlled breathing can help you stay calm in icy cold water. He gave it a shot and he stayed in for over 5 minutes. Everywhere I looked, there were reminders of constant change. The erosion carved into the massive rock formations, the giant trees washed down the creek by flash floods, the old and new human interventions, and the shed skin of insects. Impermanence was everywhere. The climb out of the canyon was super steep and rocky and really fun. That night the wind howled around our campsite and the moon sporadically peeked out from behind the clouds. On our last day, we began driving down from the mountains out of the forest. I felt fully present, and it was a good time to reflect. I'm really glad I documented parts of this trip. I think us humans have a tendency to always see ourselves at any point in time as our final forms. But every time we evaluate or examine or document ourselves, we're taking a snapshot of how we are in that moment. And one day you look back at all these snapshots of yourself and you have a lot of thoughts about how you were at that time. And the same goes for our relationships. The way that we are with somebody else is always changing as we're changing. And it's just a reminder to be present with the ones you love. If there's one big takeaway that I got from 5 days being in the woods, being super active, super present, it's that I feel my best when I'm doing my best to be the best version of myself. And I have to trust that my best is enough. And that means no self-comparison with any past versions of me or any future goal states of me, or even with anybody else in the world. Just doing my best and trusting my best is enough. I think that's what I learned on this trip. As we made our way out of the forest, we found a calm river spot where we filmed a Mind Over Matcha conversation, which will become the final video in this 3-part series. Tony and I talk about some of the philosophies and practices that he returns to as he cultivates presence and peace and mindfulness. Stay tuned for part 2, in which I talk about navigating some of the waves of my life recently, and I talk about why I haven't put out a video in 9 months. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe and all those good buttons. And if you want to support my work financially, you can do it at heyitsbao.com. And I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. That's awesome.